Hi, and welcome to this brief tutorial for calculator. I know I've created various calculators before, but this one I just want to show you guys one or two things that you can also do when developing calculator. So the first thing I'm going to do now is just to maybe create my buttons first. So right there I have my button in place. This very button, I'm just going to change the properties. So I'm not going to bother changing the names. You can always do that if you want. So I just change this font property. Now I've set that to bold, and maybe the size, just make that 28. So that's fine. So the text, change the text itself to 1. So that is set for this very button. So all I just need to do is to hold down my control and just drag it across to 3 and number 4. Now select all, hold down the control, drag. Repeat the same thing, drag, and just one more for the equal sign. Hold it down, and that's your equals. So the next thing I will do is just to change the text content. So that's 2, 3, make that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, number 9, 0. That's my decimal point. Hold that declare, equals, plus, minus, multiplication, division. There. So the next part is just to get my text box in place. That'll be my display right there. That's it. Let's drag it up to that width. Then set the alignment to align right. There. Enter 0 as the text content. Change the font size as well to 28. Let's change that to 28 as well, and just move it there. I think that's about right. So let me double click. I will now double click on the form and declare 4 variables. Okay, the next thing is just to declare some variables. So I will declare first number, make that decimal as decimal, and second number as decimal as well. Let's change that to second. There. And 2 more decimal. This one will be called operations as integer. Then let me declare one boolean, or let's call this operator underscore selector. Alright, seems a bit long, but that's okay, as boolean. In this case, my boolean, let me set that to false. There. Okay, I now have all my 4 variables in place. So the next thing I'll do is start right away. Double click on button 1 and enter the following lines of code. So the very first line of code, I'll start with if text box 1, text box 1 dot text, then text box 1 dot text plus equals 1, else text box 1, just copy that, text box 1 equals 1. So that's the very first line of code for the very first button 1. You can see if it's text box 1 it's not equals to 0, then you add 1 to it, else equals 1. So I might as well just copy and paste that in button 2. So come in here, double click on button 2, repeat exactly the same thing. The only thing I change is now this number 1, change number 1 to 2. Repeat exactly the same thing for button 3. There. So it's just exactly the same thing I'm doing right now. Repeat the same process for button 4. Paste. So I'm now going to speed it up and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, number 1 to 9. I've entered all the codes in number 1 to 9. You can see it's just similar codes apart from 0, but before that let me just try it out so that you guys see what I'm talking about. So when I click on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 0 is not working yet. These are not working, so let's get those coded. Now we double click on 0. In the case of 0, we just change this to 0 and get rid of the else, whatever. Just get rid of that. Yeah. And that's the 0 right there. Done. Okay, now let's take care of the clear button. So we just say text box 1 dot text, we return that to 0. Okay, so the text box that's for the full stop or for the decimal place. That's it right there. So if not, text box 1 dot text dot contains dot, then text box 1 dot text plus equals dot. Okay, the next thing is the programming of the plus button, and there, okay, first number is stored inside the variable, the text value is stored inside first number, and the text box actually default to 0. In that case, operator selector becomes true and the operator becomes 1, which is for the plus sign. And look up here, right up here, you can see the operator selector was false, now it becomes true, and operator there becomes, the operator there becomes 1. Okay, you can even put a comment and just say equals plus. So all you just need to do is copy that and repeat exactly the same thing for the plus sign, paste that there, this becomes 2, and that minus, repeat the same thing for the addition. So anytime you select that, the system will actually see the operator as the plus sign as 3, the multiplication sign as 3, plus minus sign as 2, and 1 as the plus sign, while the division sign would be 4. Okay, now paste that right in there, change that to 4, and let's comment it. That is it. So the last but not the least would be the equal sign. And right here are the codes for the equal sign right there. suppose you can see it. So if selector equals true, then the value inside the text box is stored inside variable second number. And if operator equals 1, then we add these together. First number plus second number, store it in there. Else, if operator equals 2, that will be the subtraction sign. Operator equals 3, the same thing. Else, if second number equals 0, then the system will display error. Else, the division sign will take precedence. And if operator selector equals false, and that's it. That's all there is to it. So now let's try out our system. Okay, now let's just try out this calculator. Let's say 23 plus 6. There. We clear it. The clear button works. Supposing we say 5 divided by 0. You should know what that means. An error, because that's impossible. Clear. 8 times 5, 40, minus 4, divided by maybe 2, or let's say 21, an odd number, and there, that's what you get. Okay, so guys, that's how you develop a calculator. I'm just going to call it a day for now, so you all have a nice day. And just before I leave, let me show you the lines of codes again. Right from the top. It's a very simple code and works more effectively. You have a nice day now. And bye for now.